In the last few years, 4K and ultra-wide monitors have been fighting for the limelight. While there are pros and cons to both, ultra-wide monitors have generally won the fight, as they offer deeper immersion in games and more screen real estate for productivity. Most modern ultra-wide monitors come with a 3440 by 1440 pixel resolution too, so you're not giving up too many pixels. Before we get started with our video detailing the best ultra-wide monitors on the market, we've included links in the description for each product mentioned, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting off with the best overall ultra-wide monitor, we have the LG 38WK95CW. Choosing the de facto best ultra-wide monitor is difficult, as the purpose of the display dictates which one you should buy. That said, the LG 38WK95CW strikes an impressive balance with a massive size, high resolution, and a slew of built-in connections. Let's start with who it's not for: gamers. With an uninspiring 75Hz refresh rate and 5 millisecond gray-to-gray response time, the LG 38WK95CW won't give you an edge in your next match of CSGO. Despite the impressive 3840 by 1600 pixel resolution and support for FreeSync, we wouldn't recommend it as part of your battle station. For productivity though, there's no suitable replacement. The slightly higher than UHD resolution makes text ultra crisp on the monitor, and the highly color accurate IPS panel is perfect for video editors, designers, and photographers. The extra 4 inches on the normal ultra-wide size doesn't hurt either. Which brings up some of the bad. The 38WK95CW is huge, and furthermore, expensive. At nearly $1,500, it's one of the most expensive ultra-wide monitors around. However, for freelancers or businesses looking for a hefty tax write-off, it makes perfect sense. If you're looking to save a few bones, the LG 38WC99W is essentially the same monitor, though slightly older. It has a slightly worse stand and 60Hz refresh rate, but the color accuracy, resolution, and support for USB-C and USB 3.0 charging is still intact. Next up, we have the best ultra-wide monitor under $400, which goes to the LG 34UM60P. The LG 34UM60P is far from a perfect monitor, with an admittedly cheap-feeling plastic construction and low resolution. At just a bit more than $300 though, it's the only ultra-wide monitor on the market that will give you the full experience without breaking the bank. Specs-wise, it's decent, though nothing special. It sports a 2560 by 1080 pixel IPS panel with surprisingly good color accuracy considering the price, 5 millisecond response time, and 75Hz refresh rate. Oddly, when I tested the monitor, it defaulted to 60Hz, but I was able to overclock my particular panel to achieve 75Hz. It supports FreeSync too, which was normally a con, but given Nvidia's recent announcement to support FreeSync displays, it's more enticing. While the response time and refresh rate aren't the best for competitive gaming, FreeSync is still nice to have for any single-player adventures. That's why this monitor is so great. It provides just enough features to be considered a serious ultra-wide, while skipping in a few areas to achieve a low price point. From gaming to even light content creation, the LG 34UM60P is an excellent display and pretty cheap to boot. At this price, the best you'll find is a similarly spec'd 29-inch ultra-wide. Up next, we have the best ultra-wide monitor for gaming, which goes to the Acer Predator X34P. The Acer Predator X34P has everything we want to see in an ultra-wide gaming monitor. It features a clean aesthetic and manages to scream gamer without being nauseating. A large 35-inch 100Hz IPS panel and a 1900R curve sat on the top of a thin but highly durable frame. Despite being over 4 years old, the Predator X34P still holds the crown for the best gaming ultra-wide. Over most high refresh rate gaming displays, the X34P is unique in that it's fairly color accurate. Acer's marketing material, of course, suggests that the color accuracy is great, but independent tests seem to back that up. The IPS panel awards wider viewing angles too, meaning the colors will stay accurate even when you're outside of the sweet spot. As far as gaming goes, the panel ships with a 100Hz refresh rate. However, it's overclockable to 120Hz, which puts the X34P in a class of its own. Our next pick, for example, is similarly spec'd, but capped at 100Hz, and high refresh rate panels like the one featured on the Asus ROG Swift PG25AQ only come with 16:9 aspect ratios. It should be noted though, that the panel is capped at 100Hz when using G-Sync. If you want to overclock it to 120Hz, you'll have to miss out on variable refresh rate. On the back of the screen, you'll find 4 USB 3.0 ports, which is useful for plugging in your keyboard and mouse without reaching behind your tower, and stereo 7-watt speakers. Most monitor speakers are pretty bad, and the X34P isn't breaking that trend. However, the dedicated power and stereo setup of the speakers means that you can get by for at least a while without a dedicated audio solution. Next, we have the best ultra-wide monitor for gaming under $600, which goes to the Massdrop Vast. The Massdrop Vast is a jack of all trades but master of none. Its VA panel isn't especially color accurate, despite Massdrop's marketing attempts to convince you otherwise, and there isn't a lot of features to make it stand out as a premium product. While it doesn't do anything perfectly, it gets most of the way there, and that's saying a lot considering the low price tag of this ultra-wide monitor. The Vast has a professional composure, but the panel quality simply isn't high enough for anyone other than would-be pros. That said, it's a great choice for gaming. With a 100Hz refresh rate and 2 millisecond G2G response time, the Vast is the only UHD ultra-wide, shy of $600, that provides an excellent gaming experience. The refresh rate and resolution are what matters. The LG 34UM60P will get you to 75Hz, but the difference between 60 and 75Hz isn't nearly as big as the difference between 75 and 100Hz. FreeSync is supported from 49Hz up to 100Hz too, so you can use the high refresh rates without screen tearing. For budget-focused monitors, it's easy to expect manufacturers to throw all their eggs in the panel basket and disregard things like the stand and chassis quality. Massdrop proves you can get the best of both worlds with the Vast though. In addition to 20 degrees of tilt and 4.3 inches of spring-actuated height adjustment, the Vast also has a full 90 degrees of pivot, so you can turn it completely sideways to see more of a document or, in most cases, dig deeper on Reddit. At this price point, the only real competitor is LG's 34UC79GB, which, at $50 cheaper, boasts a 144Hz refresh rate and more color-accurate IPS display. However, it does so at a little over half the resolution. Given the 35-inch size, the resolution makes the difference on the Vast. And while the refresh rate and color accuracy aren't as good as LG monitors, the Vast isn't too far off either. And for our last pick, we have the best ultra-wide monitor for video editing, which goes to the Dell UltraSharp U3417W monitor. The Dell UltraSharp U3417W monitor could fit in any category in this guide, minus the budget options. It's decent at gaming, excellent at productivity, and cheaper than our top pick to boot. However, given Dell's excellent business credit program and the clean, office-friendly design, the UltraSharp U3417W is a natural fit for professionals. Out of the box, the 60Hz IPS panel sports 99% coverage of the sRGB color space, which should be fine for most professionals. Independent testing backs up the color accuracy, with only slight inaccuracies in red, green, and yellow. With manual calibration, these issues can be easily snuffed out. The panel is 10-bit, meaning it can produce 1.07 billion colors within the sRGB spectrum. While color accurate on that front, it isn't a wide gamut monitor, so there's no additional coverage for the Adobe RGB spectrum. For most people, this isn't an issue, but it may not be the best choice if you're working in the Adobe RGB color space. As far as ergonomics go, the U3417W offers 60 degrees of swivel, 4.5 inches of height adjustment, and 26 degrees of tilt. If you'd rather go without the stand, there's a VESA mount on the back, so you can attach it to the arm of your choice. While we doubt most professionals will work without a dedicated audio setup, there are also 9-watt speakers that are better than most built-in audio solutions. The UltraSharp U3417W is the perfect ultrawide for professionals. The high resolution and extra screen estate award more timeline coverage in Premiere, or just a little extra room to fit all of the toolbars in Photoshop. At around $900 when not on sale though, we expect professionals to be the only ones who can afford it. So that sums up our top ultra-wide monitors of 2019. We hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like on the video, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have a great day.